hello everybody. We are here this evening with a grand hangout here. We've got Virtec from the UK. Hello, Virtec.
Hello.
Hello there. How you all doing?
Excellent. We've got Amy from America.
Hi.
We've got Amy from America. We've got
Amy.
Yes. Hey.
We've got Cece from America. Hi, Cece.
Hey, Cece.
Hey, dude.
Hey, Virtec. How you doing?
I'm good.
Nice one, Stacey. Great to hear you again.
Hey, Jin. How are you?
Yeah, hey, Cece, I lived in Canada.
Who's English, who lives in
Jin.
Japan. Yeah, Jin.
Yes.
Yeah, Jin CVR1. Born in London, talking to you from Japan at the moment. It's now just gone 4:05 in the morning. Good morning to you all.
Good boy.
Wow.
Getting up there.
Yes.
Can I just say that Cece can't stay very long today, can you, Cece?
No, I'm in the middle of my work day, unfortunately, but I have a little break. So, yeah, definitely. I wanted to hop on and say hi to everybody.
Work? What's
Yeah,
that?
appreciate that, Stacey. Judging by the video, you got good weather up in New York.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm an essential worker, so I've been working every day, pretty much since, well, it hasn't affected me at all. If anything, I've made more money only because I'm putting more hours in. You know, we've lost some guys from work, so that puts more of a workload on me. They decided to take the easy way and just collect the money off the government. I mean, you know, they're making more money now, so
Right.
let them enjoy it. But, you know, the party's over. Party's over in July.
Yeah.
At least here in this country.
Yeah,
July 31st.
a lot of tech people are making more money because they're working online, and you know, suddenly they're in demand. I'm hearing from people.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's absolutely correct. That's what's going on now.
Just asking, Jin and Virtec are friends. Amy's not met Virtec. Have you met Virtec before at all, Cece, on your rounds anywhere? Do you know who Virtec is?
No. Do you have a channel, Virtec?
I do. It's a music channel, and it's got a very original name. It's called Virtec.
Obviously.
Oh, that's great.
Excellent. Well, so you're a musician then.
It's good to make our party bigger,
I'm a
isn't it?
musician.
Our party's bigger now because Virtec's there, and Lee might join us later on, so we might have him as well.
Might join us.
Yes.
From
how long you think you'll be on for?
About an hour and a half.
Oh, okay.
If it goes well, 2 hours.
Yeah. Okay. All right. When I finish up, this is the last patient I have for the day, so you know. But still, I have to drive back up to the office, get my car, and all that other nonsense. But yeah, you know, I'll see what time everything is. If you guys are still on, I'll pop on and say hi again.
Are you a doctor, Cece?
Oh no! If I was a doctor, I probably would have never known about the flat Earth. No, I'm the ambulatory business is what our business is. You know, it's one of the essential businesses that's needed. That Cuomo, our mayor, you know, decided to say that that's essential. You know, all nurses, anybody in nursing homes, all supermarkets have to be opened. All fast food restaurants, for some reason or another, that's an essential. I don't know what the hell that's all about. But even Starbucks was open. I mean,
right.
Over here in the UK, booking offices are essential too.
Oh.
They've all opened.
Booking offices.
Yeah, bookies. You know.
Oh, bookies. Yeah, all right. There you go. Yes, that is an essential thing, but there are no games going on, so I don't know what they're betting.
Yeah.
Right.
They'll bet on
surprised they're
anything.
not operating online. You know.
Yeah.
That's true. They did have that casino. You know what? I never looked that up because they migrated to online casino here in New York, but they only allowed it in New Jersey.
Oh, yeah.
I think they allowed it now in New York. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know how that works. No. I mean, look, everybody's been staying home here in New York. They haven't been out. They're just starting to get out now. on my video, I stated that we were going into phase 3, which would allow people to go into restaurants now at 50% capacity. But, you know, our asshole mayor decided, oh, no, because down in Virginia, some idiot went somewhere and came back and got a bunch of people sick again. So it freaked him out. And now we're back to square 2, basically.
No, because some idiot fell off their horse in South Dakota, died of COVID, and now the whole of New York is on lockdown again.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, can you even watch the news anymore? I don't know. You get to a point where they just sound like children.
Yes.
I get it secondhand through all our lot. I haven't had a TV for years, but if something important comes up, Karen will usually report on it.
That's right.
Oh yeah, they report it all over. I'm surprised you're even getting information and out there with us with anything that's going on here in New York, because it's a total utter joke. I mean, we're being treated like children here. We're being told what we can and cannot do, where we can go, and if we go there to wear a mask.
I know. New York,
you can't walk in.
New York seems to be particularly bad. See, I lived in California for 20 years, so I'm partially Yank. So
yeah, California.
So I spend a lot of my time online in America.
Right. 20 years.
Yeah, Maryland's very bad too.
Go on, Amy.
Maryland, where is very bad too. They expect us to wear face masks everywhere. I went to the shooting range for the first time in my life one Sunday, and I was dismayed that everybody at the shooting range was wearing masks. And because you would think that people that support the Second Amendment would, maybe not be so prone to want to comply with these masks, but sure enough, they did. And then my daughter went to an outdoor amusement park the other day in Pennsylvania, and you had to wear your mask at the amusement park. It was just ridiculous. And she kept hers, she wouldn't all the way on, but everybody else did. They were on a roller coaster. She showed me a picture, and she had her mask hanging down, but her stepmother and her stepbrothers, they had their mask all over their nose, mouth, everything. It just looked ridiculous.
Yeah.
So it's it's
to
crazy.
Quote Queen Victoria, we are not amused.
Yeah,
Amy said that before. We're not amused.
Yeah, exactly. We are not amused. And take that amused off park and just put miserable.
Yeah.
I mean, really. How could you have any fun in 90-degree weather?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
I know.
As Del would say, what a load of mongs.
Yes.
Yeah. What a load of mongs. Yeah.
I mean, it's outside and hot and everything. And,
do you know something that's crazy as well? I did this hangout with Claudio the other day. Basically, the supreme law is common law, and we don't have to wear our masks in common law. And the police should be promoting common law, but they don't. They promote.
Unfortunately, the supreme law is an M1 Abrams tank.
Yeah. Right. With a donut in there, operating it.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean that's the thing here. It's not even that. The pathetic thing about it is that you're forced to wear them because all the other zombies have been trained are in so much fear now that they can't even walk their dog, without wearing a face mask. And God forbid if you should be I'm talking outdoors on a sidewalk. People are telling you to wear a face mask, and I'm outdoors. You know what? At this point, I was getting mad at them, but now I just ignore them completely because I know they're out of their minds.
Yeah.
I can't communicate with them. I can't talk. And flat Earth, good luck.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I heard that. CC, I heard earlier that the Junicorn, David Rice, was refused to be able to cash out of the market in, of all places, Woodstock.
Woodstock. I know exactly where that is. That's not too far away from my place upstate.
Well, it's meant to be full of hippies and, like really woke people, and apparently there were more masks in Woodstock than anywhere.
I find that hard to believe. That is a shocker because they are probably the most open to flat Earth and everything else too, UFOs, all that stuff. I cannot believe they fell for it, hook, line, and sinker too. That's amazing.
Oh, yes.
I'm actually going up there.
Yesterday in Florida, right, there was a demonstration against mandatory wearing of the mask. And the mayor came out and said that they're not going to make it mandatory. But just before he came out, there was a woman who was totally livid. She went off like a volcano. And she said that she would make a citizen's arrest on anyone who tries to stop my constitutional right to choose, she said. But when you heard her voice, she was like screaming at the top of her voice.
People are losing
she
it.
was followed by, yeah, that's right, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. They are on the verge right here in New York. And you know what? Because that's what they're toying with here. They're toying with a mandatory law about no matter where you are, park, sidewalk, walking your dog, to wear a mask. And I mean, really, what? We don't have enough cops in the area to police that, let alone even speeders.
Well,
they'll make you set up
just to carry on
make you set up a webcam in your bedroom, and then you'll have to wear a mask while you're asleep.
You know what I mean? Just to carry what I was saying, right? In Florida there, after that woman said that, there was a couple other women screaming at the top of their voices, get the camera on them, they're not wearing masks, screaming. And then a sheriff said, stop being a sheep. What the sheriff said, sheriff.
Did you see there was a video from the Arc de Triomphe in Paris from yesterday? A load of cops actually stood in a line and threw their handcuffs on the road.
Really?
Symbol of, yeah. It's like it's a rugby.
Do you know why though? Because the police should be promoting common law. Should be doing, and they're not. They're promoting the corporate
I reckon
law.
enough of les flics, as they're called in Paris, got the picture from the Yellow Jackets, and I think the Yellow Jackets have been thinking about things, made them think.
Virtec, when they threw their handcuffs down, what they're giving up, are they? They're giving up on arresting people, or what? I mean, I don't.
No, it means we're not going to to arrest people.
Okay.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
That's
love the phrase.
Yeah, the problem here in New York is the police officers are bowing down to the mayor. Okay, so the mayor pretty much has the cops. So whatever the mayor says, the cops will follow here in New York.
Right.
So they will follow him, and they will arrest you and they'll take your license away. Especially, I mean, I just recently got a haircut, and I had to walk in there with a mask. I'm like, Joe, I've known you for like 40 years now, and I gotta, I mean, there he is with a face mask, and he's got the full, artillery thing on, that big plastic shield that comes down, and I'm like, oh shit, Joe, please don't tell me this is.
Hey, CC, do you remember Occupy Wall Street? The cops.
Yeah.
They, the amount of pepper spray they sprayed over everyone during that.
Yeah, I remember that. Yes, I do. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was in California when that happened. I was sort of trying to support via the internet, and I actually got my computer attacked. The first time I've ever had someone reach into my computer and screw it up.
Oh wow. Yeah, those hackers.
Oh wow.
Yeah, dodgy.
Yeah, it happens. They get in there and then God knows what they do. It screws everything up. I usually just end up blowing the computer out or. No, I mean it's just ridiculous here. I mean we have the riots too, which are all organized crime basically, and that's what it is.
Yes.
I mean, people think these are regular people that are ripping down these statues. No, they're not. They're kids, and 75% of them are white college kids. Yeah. That are being paid to do this, I mean, this is not a race thing. This is something that is just done to put fear inside of you.
Well,
some people,
you know what Vladimir Lenin said: the best way to control the opposition is to lead it.
Yeah, that's
right.
Perfect. That's what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing, and they're taking away our history over complete nonsense. You know, hey, look, whatever. This is not about this whole thing with the cop and this guy.
Right.
It is not. It's what.
No, it's not.
It has nothing to do with it. It really. That is something that happens on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Not only, you know, with the same race, and you know, you got Chicago with deaths every day. I mean, hundreds of them daily that nobody ever mentions.
That's right.
And so
well, CC, I reckon it's one rung on the ladder of the long march through the institutions.
Yeah,
Right.
and it's just going to continue, and they'll think of something else.
Well,
look, 2020, this is the year. I've seen more stuff.
They control everything. They control the media. They control education. They control the government. They control finance.
Mm-hmm.
They control the police force. They control the army. It's
Yes.
a long march through the institutions, and they've done it very slowly, like boil the frog slowly, because if it's too fast, the frog will jump out. You know?
Yeah. Well,
But they seem to have turned up the heat recently.
oh yeah, there.
Minnesota decided to reduce the police budget from $6 billion to $5 billion, and they're going to use that $1 billion to help the people of Minnesota, because that's what they're calling for. They want to reduce police spending because they're frightened of the truncheon, they said. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're
I think it's $1 billion.
of the truncheon.
The whole thing is they play let's you and him fight. They play getting two parties to turn against each other, cause chaos, and then they'll rush in with the solution. Problem, reaction, solution, dialect again.
They'll go in dialect again, yeah.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, and what were we going to say, Amy? I'm sorry.
Oh, I was going to ask you a quick question, Cece. I heard that if people want to take a vacation to New Jersey and New York, and they're from out of state, that when they first get there, they have to quarantine for 2 weeks, because we were going to take a vacation to New Jersey, and we're thinking not to go there because if we're going to have to be in, we were only going for 5 days, and we're going to be in quarantine for 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's silly.
No,
that's ridiculous. So
now Cuomo is. I was going to say Cuomo is trying to institute that here in New York, where anybody coming from a different state to New York has to be quarantined for 14 days. Now I don't know what they're doing for the other states. And it's utter not. So what? You have 1 week off. You're going to take a vacation, and I'm going to spend 14 days in quarantine. How does that work? What do you tell your boss?
Exactly.
I'm taking 3 weeks off.
Do you know what that will do? That will just turn everybody off. Like Amy's thinking of not going, so that it's still stopping people from travelling.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I've got to be quarantined for 2 weeks, and you're not going to want to go, are you?
No, exactly.
I've heard that Americans aren't allowed to fly to Europe anymore.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
that's right.
true.
That's right.
Yes.
Only recently, Japan's opened the door to America, so you know.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, you can't make any sense. I mean, look, this is just, they're coming up with new laws. I don't even want to say daily now. Now I'm saying hourly at this point, because they just don't know they don't know what to do. They're children. I mean, they're being told through some other higher up of, okay, no, that's not right. Let's do it this way, and then it just trickles down the line, just like in the Army. Captain gets this, then the lieutenant, then the sergeant. I mean, it's just it's a joke. I mean, it's utter nonsense here in New York, and I think a lot of people are. You're going to see something go on here in New York. This is something that is going to wake up some people. Unfortunately, not the flat Earth, which kind of sucks, but at least just to the whole fakeness of everything when they start waking up and saying, "Hey, look, the numbers weren't there. They're not there. There are millions of people are not dead." I mean,
who's that guy in New York? There's a really good guy in New York who goes around the hospitals and talks to the ambulance drivers and things. He's really cool, that guy.
I don't. He does interviews with the ambulance. You mean like the EMS, emergency ambulances?
Yeah, and he goes up to emergency rooms and sees they're all empty, and he's right. And, you know, when it first started, he was out there on the front street, you know, on the front.
Yeah. That's
oh, yeah. I think it's. Is that a Plain Truth? I'm not
No,
sure.
Yeah, there was
no.
Plain Truth did it.
It
Do it, yeah. But
Was it him that did it? I think it was him. I know he put a few videos out. I saw him, and I could have done that too myself, but unfortunately, at one point they banned me from the hospital, not because of COVID. They won't allow anybody in the hospitals anymore, unless if you have a actual doctor's appointment. If you're dropping off a patient or something like that, they send a nurse down and they take them. Nursing homes are the same thing. These poor people haven't been seen their loved ones in months. And what they...
That's the coolest thing is that I reckon, like the old people dying without their family around them, and the young people sitting in a circle allowed to throw a ball but not catch one in the schools. Those two things annoy me more than anything else.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Can I ask a question? CC, is it got busier for you? Are more people going back to the hospital now? Is it picking up in your, because obviously you take people to the hospital taxi, don't you?
Well, yeah, I mean, well, it's ambulatory, but yeah, I mean, we're getting an influx of business. One, because we've lost people, drivers, because they have their own health problems and other issues. And I can understand that. They'll be back. The patients, yeah, they are slowly allowing, you know, elective surgery, you know, things like that. They're allowing physical therapy now. The adult programs, the adult, you know, daycare stuff. I never see that coming back at all. I don't think that's ever going to come back. And if it does, it's going to be a long time. Yeah. Yeah. So if you have a loved one that needs to go into adult, you know, daycare or something like that, good luck. You better hire somebody, because that's not happening. It's like schools. I mean, they don't even have a plan for schools. I mean, you know, really, no plan at all for schools. And here we are in July. There's no step-by-step PowerPoint. You know, remember all these PowerPoint things they used to come out with? You know, this is, when I become mayor, I had this big PowerPoint, you know, schedule of things that I'm going to do. Shit. They've got nothing at all for anything, and no PowerPoint presentation of how we're going to open everything up. That's why I know this is all bullshit, because they have zero intelligence. Forget it. Don't even get me started on this shit.
Right.
It drives me nuts.
I know.
Unbelievable.
Don't push me, because I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head.
Good. You got to make a song out of it. Hey, you know, you got a musician right here, too, so perfect. You guys together.
It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep on going on.
I know.
Can I ask you something? Who's quite offended by those masks? Because I am. I feel quite offended when I see. In my mind, I think, oh my God, I can't even look at them.
It offends me.
Yeah.
Not because they actually believe it's working. That's what's offending.
I know. Oh, Jin, that is so true. And this is what I get really annoyed with, too, because I feel I just don't know what to do anymore with these people when I pass them on the sidewalk, because you can't say hi to them because I can't.
Cece, run them over.
Stare at them.
Cece, run them over.
Now, I would use my driver's license.
Don't you find if you stare at them, they look to the ground? They can't look you in the eye.
Immediately, you're absolutely right. And when you look at them and you pass them on the sidewalk, and I'm not wearing, because there's no way I'm wearing that stuff outside in my own town or village.
I've got good news, because in London, the only time you really have to wear them is if you want to get on a bus or a train, which is really annoying. But I just recently got this card that I'm going to get printed out tomorrow from Transport for London, basically saying I'm exempted. I don't have to wear a mask. So I'm going to get it printed out and put in a little plastic thing and wear it on a lanyard around my neck so it looks official.
Yeah.
Exactly. Wear it on your neck just like an IBM, identification thing, and laminate it and put a nice little freaking gold emblem on it too. Make it look like a combat blue.
But this is actually for real from Transport for London, so I'm hoping it'll work.
Yes. Well, actually, I think in America, I think it applies everywhere, no matter what state. You can, I have the thing printed out. It tells you, it says that I do not have to wear a mask because I have a medical condition. And under HIPAA, you cannot question what that is.
Yeah.
And that's supposed to work. You're supposed to honor it. And so, that's what I was gonna try, doing. And they said,
I've actually got a copy of that. I've got a copy of that, what you're just talking about.
Yeah.
I've
And
got a
I
copy
heard
of that right now. Let me show you.
that even if you just told them, if you told the store people, I have a medical condition, I don't have to wear a mask. I've heard that they let off of you if you just even tell them that. So I think they know it, but they're not going to tell you. Right? You got to say it first, and then they'll.
Yeah, and part of that is asthma, and other self-existing issues, health problems that people have. Just can't wear these masks, and I agree. But the problem is they have signs on the door: no mask, no entry.
Exactly.
At this point. And so I haven't. I'll to be honest with you, I have not tried to play games because I live in the town and I know these people. And I'm like, screw it. Should I, when I'm out in different towns like I am right now? Sure, why not? I'll try it.
Right.
And see if it works, because technically, hey, look, you can't force everybody to wear these ridiculous masks, which don't do a thing. If you can smell something, the mask isn't working. It's got to be a snorkel or something. I mean, it's ridiculous. Get one of the NASA space suits. That's about the only thing that's going to.
Well, here in Japan, right, they demonstrated what happens when people sneeze, and it all comes out the side of the mask, just coming out in a vortex, just coming out.
Yeah, Jin.
Yeah.
Jin, did you see that one? I saw this one. This one showed the sneeze go almost 25 feet.
There you go. Yeah, I saw that.
Like, that's great. And people are even going outside. Come on. If this was like this, we would have millions of people dead. I mean, it would be going ravishing.
That's right.
How's Mexico doing? My question. Mexico. I mean, I haven't heard anything from Mexico at all. I mean, they're not really known for cleanliness out there.
Right.
It should be running rampant through there. I mean, even parts of California.
If you watch the Dollar Vigilante with Lucy and tacos and kisses, do you know what's his name? The guy, the Dollar Vigilante.
Yeah.
He has a really good show. And
I think so. I've seen one or two. Yeah.
And he lives in Mexico, and he broadcasts, 2 or 3 times a week from Mexico. Right. So check him out.
Yes.
I will. I definitely will. I want to see what's going on.
I think there are some troubled parts in Mexico, like anywhere else, but there's a large part of Mexico that is fine.
Yeah. And they're probably not paying attention to anything at all in terms of, wearing a face mask and that stuff. Come on. I mean, really, even states.
The Mexicans aren't into obeying rules, are they? That's not their trip.
No, absolutely not. And there's states here that
we
don't
need those stinking badges.
Yeah.
I like doing? I like dropping that bomb when I say to someone, well, if I've got it and I sneeze, I infect the whole shop. When you can see their faces, they just don't know what to say.
Yeah, exactly. And the beauty of it is, why weren't they wearing these masks 8 weeks ago when we were at the height of this COVID nonsense? Nobody was wearing any masks. They didn't even think about it. If I told them 8 weeks ago you'd be walking around the street with your dog wearing a mask by yourself, you would think I'm freaking crazy. Now you are doing it voluntarily on your own goodwill. And how much of an idiot you look like now.
That's right. Now, in our area, people do, they will be outside without a mask, which is great. And we have a local community pool. They weren't going to open up, but then they wound up opening up anyway. And they're not requiring any kind of masks or anything. So that's great.
I saw a video of people in a swimming pool in Australia with masks on. I couldn't believe it.
Yes, that's all.
How are they keeping them? How are they keeping them dry? I guess they're not putting their head underneath the water.
Right. Well, I saw something. I think it was from the CDC itself that, and it said that you shouldn't wear your masks in the water because if they get wet, that defeats the purpose or whatever. I think it was right when the CDC.
Well, the WHO said,
website.
Amy, about 2 months ago, WHO said, "Oh, don't wear. No one should wear these masks. They're bad for you, unless you're like a dentist, peering into someone's mouth." And it's there, but the mainstream media, they're like a dog with a bone. Once they got hold of it, they're not going to let go of that bone, even if the actual real bone has already been thrown on the ground. Exactly. They just keep going on the old story.
And yes, and
I watched. Go on, Amy. Sorry, Amy, go on.
Oh, I was just going to say, was caught saying not to wear the masks. But if you try to put that video out, they'll take it down. But he has come right out and said it. At one point he said people don't need to be wearing masks. So this is from the great expert himself, right? And he's saying don't wear a mask, and they want that suppressed. So it's just crazy.
Back in 1918, when they had that Spanish flu supposed pandemic thing, they did an experiment where they took 100 healthy people and they took 100 people suffering with the flu supposedly, and they took all the mucus, all the snot in the nose of the healthy people, right? The healthy subjects, okay, in their eyes, in their eye ducts, in their nose, and the back of the throat, and not one of them contracted the
That's right. I saw that.
Yes, I heard that.
They contracted, right?
Yeah, and the pre-runner to that story is during the Second World War, a lot of Americans were vaccinated with this new wonder vaccination. And a lot of them got really ill, and then when the war was over, they came back to basically the barracks in the east of the USA, and a lot of them were really quite sick. But they had a load of vaccinations left, so they thought, "Oh, I know what, we'll vaccinate the local population." So they did that, and that's where the whole Spanish flu crisis came from, was from vaccinations.
Exactly. You have to be injected to get this stuff. Look, the common cold is a different story. If somebody sneezes, you're going to get it, or whatever. But, I mean, something that is major like this is going to have to be injected inside of you in order to even get it. Now, the thing is I've had patients that have this, and it's only because it's in their bloodstream. It stays in your bloodstream for 30 days. So as long as the nursing home or hospital or doctor or whatever takes a blood test and sees that you are positive for it, they're going to say you have it, And
what the worst thing is? You do not want to go on a ventilator. You do not want to go on.
Oh, no.
That's right.
No. That will kill you.
And it says what do you call it? No resuscitation. Yeah. That's what they're doing at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, think about forcing air into somebody that is, it just doesn't, it never really made any sense, those resuscitators, because you're forcing air, a lot of it, by the way, too, into somebody that does not need it, that doesn't really require it, but still, because they think they require it, you're killing them by doing that. Look, it's one domino falling after another domino, and it's worked so well, and it's made so many people so paranoid to a point where they're so frightened. I never thought I would ever see anything like this in my entire lifetime. I really.
Me neither. A family they extended family. I see them on Facebook. They are so virulent about people wearing their masks. They just keep putting posts about, just stop whining about wearing the mask. The science
Excellent.
proves it. And so I just try to share links that, shows you the facts about it, because now they're even saying it's bad for you. It's lowering your oxygen levels when you wear the mask for too long, and it cuts back on your oxygen, and people are passing out and getting sick and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
and we're going into, I mean, here it is summer. It's been unusual. Well, you're from Maryland, so we have had the hottest summer yet. I mean, this is it. We should not be at 85, 90 degrees. That's what it is right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
That virus shouldn't be alive at these temperatures.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, it's preposterous. Yeah, and a woman died, and she drove right off a road. Face mask stifled her. She wasn't getting enough air inside of her.
Right.
Yeah. CC, there was a case like that in the UK.
I bet.
Like this guy who had a mask on and he blacked out and crashed.
Mm-hmm.
And they put it down to carbon monoxide poisoning.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. I mean, when I have to wear them because I'm required to in the business, I feel a lack of oxygen. Especially on a hot day like this, and I'm wheelchairs and I'm actually out there doing stuff. It's remarkable. Nobody has said anything about that. They just wear it and they're breathing. And these nurses, I have to give it to the nurses. They wear them.
Wouldn't it be cool to get like an oxygen tank on your back coming around in your mask giving you oxygen?
Don't you think it's really weird that they're making us wear these things when the medical people or anybody talking says we shouldn't be wearing them? So what's all that about?
Poor kids that are in the delis, that have these part-time jobs, have to wear these freaking masks. I mean, 8 hours a day. Could you imagine what that's doing to them? And then the children, I see, parents giving their 5-year-old, 4-year-old, 3-year-old, whatever, just pick the age, wearing a freaking mask. I mean, in a baby carriage. And I'm like, you know what?
That really freaks me out, that does. Oh.
I'm numb to it now. I can't. I'm not going to do anything anymore. Let them. You go ahead. I mean, that's it. If you're that stupid and you think that you've got to put your child with a face mask, that I don't even know where they get. They must be making them now for children, I guess.
But CP, it's not the kids' fault, is it? You see like 7-year-old kids in the park on bikes pedaling along with masks on.
With masks on. Exactly. It's unbelievable. And then, I mean, my whole thing was, having the kids go to McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, all these fast food joints, and that food is just killer. It's dog food, as far as I'm concerned. I think that's child abuse. Yeah. Now I see masks put on these kids, these children, and that's now you're restricting air inside of a developing body.
Oh yes.
Okay. So make sense of that.
Yeah, never mind returning all the germs that you were trying to breathe out back into your mouth again.
Exactly.
But the mayor will say, "Oh yeah, but the kids have to get sick." I mean, they just get more childish and childish.
Yes.
No, when I was younger, my mother took me to a chickenpox party so that I could catch it. Huh?
Get the chicken pox and get.
Yeah, they're having COVID parties now, I think, right? I don't know. Apparently, there's so many.
Something interesting? They're saying that people are getting it locked in their houses. So being locked in our houses didn't make any difference then, did it, if we're getting it at home?
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, we know it's all strange. We know that they lie and that they're lying anyway. But that's what I heard a report was. We're getting it in our houses. So we're locked in our houses and we're still getting it. But we know that's not true.
No, it's total nonsense. I mean, really, these new developing cases, I don't know where they're pulling them up from. You don't see any of these people. I've yet to see one sick person. I haven't heard somebody cough, sneeze, sniffle in months now, and apparently these people are showing up positive for it, but they have no symptoms at all whatsoever. So makes sense of that. I don't know.
Well, it's a good point you make there, because according to this book called The Invisible Rainbow by Arthur Furstenberg, he mentions that fact that, they got these supposed people who were sick with the Spanish flu, and they got them to cough on healthy people, and they actually breathed in their air, and they never got sick. They never contracted the virus. They never did. They even injected them with the snot into the body. They didn't get it. They even sneezed into bags and put the bags on horses, and the horses were sneezing. They never got the flu. So proving that the flu doesn't jump from animals to human beings. It doesn't happen. Nature doesn't work like that. Neither does it go from humans to animals. It's a lie. Not only that, they've also said no human being has seen a virus under the microscope. They haven't seen one. There you go.
Exactly.
Right.
No, and the funny thing is, there's always a picture of just one little cell. Where are the other ones? There should be hundreds of them. It's all CGI. I mean, it's amazing.
Yes,
People
it's
are
all
looking at this CGI.
Yes, CGI viruses. That's right. With their little spikes.
Well, they
Right.
They love it, though. I mean, the children who are asleep love it. They've grown up with CGI. And they look at planets and galaxies, and it's all CGI. It's great.
Well, you won't believe it. You won't believe it, guys. You won't believe it. The latest news, right, is that a satellite looking towards looking out towards the universe has discovered a rocky planet, the largest rocky planet they've seen so far. Right, it's like 3.4 times the size of Earth and 40 times the weight, the mass. How would they work that out? And it's 730 trillion light years away.
700? Are you sure about that number? 700 trillion. They can see that, but I can't see the American flag on the moon.
There you go. Right, folks.
As Del would say, what a load of sack sniffers.
It's just, it gets worse and worse. You know, it's funny. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying it just gets worse because what they do is, you see what they do. They throw the protest, they throw the virus, then they throw some NASA stuff and SpaceX, and I mean, it's just now what they're doing is instead of coming out one by one, they're doing it in a cluster, on a daily basis. Where
that's what they're doing.
Hey, Jin, excuse me.
Yeah.
I've just looked up this quote, which you might have heard before, by William Casey, CIA director, from first staff meeting, 1980. Here's the quote. "We'll know our disinformation program is complete when everything the American public believes is false."
False, yeah.
Oh,
I've heard that. Yeah.
That's
when you know they've achieved their mark.
They've done it, haven't they?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they have. Well, not all of them know yet, but the majority. But also flat Earth is, look, they know it's coming out, and it's coming out quick. And
it's all Bob. It's all Bob Nodell's fault, definitely.
Well done, Bob. He's good. They've done great work with Ghostbusters. Generalism.
So, CC, in the States, what percentage of people do you think have sort of awoken? I won't use woke because that's been hijacked.
Yeah, forget that. I don't like that expression at all, woke.
It depends on how you look at it. The awoken people that come out and will actually say something, I would say very, very few. The awoken people that are closet flat earthers, right? Quite a few, because they can't come out. Most of them are doctors. Most of them have professional, businesses that
pilots.
Yeah, pilots and stuff. I mean, really, there's plenty of people in New York that know the truth, and they can't say anything until one of their constituents says something. That's what we need. We need them to follow somebody who's in the same business, you know, who says, hey, fuck, you know. The problem is, look, if you're a physician or a doctor or anything like that, you represent that particular group. And if you come out and put a YouTube video out, you will get the president or whoever, how it ever works, contact you and say, hey, look, we're going to take your licenses away.
Yeah.
We're going to take everything away from you if you don't shut your channel down. And we've already lost people because of that. So that's enough to tell people, hey, look, you know, this is it. I'm not saying anything. I know the truth, and I'm going to die knowing it and not being able to maybe explain it to anybody. But to answer your question, you know, there's no way of finding out, you know, how many people know here in New York. There's really no way. I have had my channel.
It's not increasing anyway, that's for sure. Because
it definitely is increasing. I've had my channel out. I got my contact information there.
Yeah.
If you're from New York, contact me. So that's it. I leave it at that.
It's like you said.
Can I say something? Me and Amy have been watching this doctor. He's quite a good doctor, isn't he, Amy? He lost his job, didn't he? The guy with the beard. He lost his job by talking out about it.
I know you're talking about.
We're telling people the truth and saying this is ridiculous that he's lost his job.
You're talking about Andrew Kaufman?
No, he's a doctor.
In England or in America?
He's actually in his surgery, but he's lost his job since that because he spoke out.
In England?
America.
America.
I can't remember what his name is.
I can't either.
He's probably about late 30s, early 40s.
But Karen, is he in the UK?
America.
Oh.
Are you talking about the architectural engineer? Not him, right?
No.
He goes on Facebook a lot, and people join him on Facebook.
Yeah, I can't think of his name. I think he has he's bald hair.
There was Dr. Andrew Kaufman who's got a beard now.
Yeah, I think he's bald. Yeah, he's quite bald.
If it's Andrew Kaufman, he's sort of lost his job, but he's opened up his own practice now where he's like teaching alternate and doing quite well, you know, so.
Oh, yeah, good for him. So they didn't take his license away and everything like that, because that's what they're threatening a lot of people when they come out, you know, who have gone all the way, shall we say, you know, with the educational system. And those are the hardest people to wake up. And I've had people, you know, come up to me who claim, I don't know if it's real, who knows? I mean, you know, people say all sorts of stuff, but you know, from the way I hear them speaking or these people speak, they definitely sound very well educated, and they seem to know and think they believe that they know somebody from NASA. That why would they ever make anything up like that? That's complete.
Yeah, I know those people. I've met a few of those.
Yeah. I mean, you know, they've come up to me. I'm just driving or getting gas or something like that, and you know, I give them a card, and that's it. I leave it at that. I'm not gonna get in a pissing contest with these people. Sorry, but I'm not. I'm not gonna sit there and argue with you. You know, if you're an idiot and you believe that and you think we live in a spinning ball, fine. Don't look into this. I don't want you to look into it. Stay away from it. If anything, you enjoy your life.
I mean, you've got to be insane if you think that you know 1 light year is 6 trillion miles. 6 trillion miles is 1 light year, right? And then 1 trillion seconds.
Wow.
1 trillion seconds is 31,000 years. 1 trillion seconds. 1 trillion seconds is 31,000 years.
Don't you love these numbers, though? They make it seem like it's just we're nothing. We're little, not even the size of an ant. I mean, we're like a speck of sand.
I never realised that. Thank you, Jin. I'm converted back to being a glober. Thank you.
I mean, you know, we find a planet 7 trillion light years away. I mean, you can't even imagine these numbers. I mean, I don't even know how I did it when I was a globe earther.
Can I say something? I noticed when Trump and all these people are talking, they talk in millions and billions. That's all they talk about is millions, trillions. It's just numbers you cannot. You know, what is it? a million. You know, could you imagine counting a million?
I
Well, some of
know.
them was nice enough
Yeah.
to put.
Huh?
We can't get near those numbers. I'll be
No,
lucky if I get 20.
one of the main problems is, but one of the main problems is that you start opening up people's eyes to flat Earth, and then they suddenly go, "But wait a minute, that means that we didn't land on the moon." But wait a minute,
Right.
that means maybe all
Yeah.
those people who are talking about 911 have got a point.
Yes.
And you know, like you open them up to flat Earth, but what that does is require a very large aperture opening into being able to take on the rest of the warren in the rabbit hole of the truth search. Huh?
Yes,
Exactly. And 9/11 is very hard here in New York. 9/11 is that's a tough court. You know, that is reopening that wound for people, you know, who really have lost deaths. Hey, look, you know what? Those are sacrifices as far as I'm concerned.
Yes.
People did die, you know, but not a lot of them, because all the CEOs and everything like that, they didn't go to work that day.
Yeah.
Suspiciously, you know,
Imagine.
they didn't go to work.
Oh my God! Imagine.
And don't
They
forget,
just-
put up options were at record high for that period. Oh,
Yeah, what happened?
Wow.
What happened to Tower 7, the Building 7? Nobody wants to talk about Building 7. None of the reporters.
All the buildings
Yeah.
went in that
Everyone-
complex. There's 7 of them. The whole lot went that day. They
yeah,
were
we
either
so much- we had
destroyed
so
or
much lost
broken.
life.
They got
We
rid
had
of
so
all of them.
much life, we had to just pull it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So we decided to pull it.
Well,
Who said that?
I tell you what, I was in California when it happened, but I've been involved in like computer CGI and doing like masking and stuff from quite early on. And when I saw it on the replay, I saw this mask slip, and then I saw the nose of an airliner come out the other side of the building, who's like an aluminum nose, and aluminium. You see, I am still American. I still say Z. Oh my gosh. Anyway, you get the aluminium nose in perfect condition, having been through like God knows how much iron steel building.
Yeah.
Comes out.
Right.
And immediately, my CGI computer eye went,
Oh,
That
well.
doesn't look good. And I
That's
mean, you're talking about an airplane that's made of styrofoam, minimal amount of steel, pretty much the same amount of gauge steel I mean, they don't even use that on the ISS. I mean, the ISS is like tinfoil, for crying out loud. That's going to hold us back in space. Right? I mean, come on. I mean, it's such bullshit. I mean, people don't see this nonsense. They think this thing is up in space, you know, being held in with, and there's a hole now. Oh my God, the vacuum of space is getting in. My finger's going to cover it right up. Don't worry about it, guys. Everything's fine up here.
is it real or is it Daco foil?
That's so funny. Sorry, that's so funny, Cece. I just put my finger on it. Oh, I've got sucked
Yeah,
out.
don't worry. It's all right. You realize what would happen in a vacuum seal? I mean, it's an easy test. You know, just God. I mean, it would implode everything immediately, instantaneously. It would implode everything. Everybody would be dead.
Yeah.
They don't have a structural
Just
engineer.
forget about it.
No, so stupid. I mean, they just don't see this. And you know what? I'm just so glad everybody is, you know, that everybody that I meet are awake, and I can speak to you and get away from this zombie later. I mean, it's just all zombies here.
But the thing is, once you get wise to, you know, what happened with 911, then you get into qui bono, who benefits. And then the rabbit hole really starts. You know?
Oh, yeah, that's what
I typed in first. 911, who benefited, because my friend sent me a link, right? A Greek friend of mine from London sent me a link, right? Because it couldn't leave me, right? I thought Muslims don't have that kind of organization to hijack 4 planes, knock out 3 buildings. No, they can't. They couldn't have happened like that. And it bugged me for a whole year, 2001, right? So 2002, my second son is born. I'm still thinking about this 9/11 thing. I spoke to my Greek friend and said, "Don't you think it's amazing what these Muslims did? I don't believe they could do that. Is that what you think, Jin? Watch this link." And then he gave me this link, and it just didn't seem to make sense what I was listening to. You know, when the cognitive disc kicks in big time, you think, nah, this is not right. So I said, hang on a second. Let me type in 911, who benefited, like that, yeah? And suddenly the computer just tsunamied me with Untold, and I watched the first one, Loose Change, and then from there, I just went down the rabbit hole from there.
Wow.
I'm surprised that it didn't answer you. 666 new cases in New Jersey, COVID ID.
Right.
Yeah. I love the numbers, don't you? They're great.
Yeah.
Oh,
5 miles an hour. The ISX.
If you put in Google any three numbers and say new cases, it will bring you up that exact amount of numbers in any area. You can put any 3-digit number you want. It could be just 1, 2, 3, and say new cases, and then it'll say.
Yeah, me and Amy did it on a little video. We actually did it. So Amy, I even said, Amy, pick a number.
Yeah.
And we went through it, and it didn't matter what number you put in, it always had those cases in a country.
I'll tell you what gets me. After that came out, you'd think that Google, who like all the alphabet agencies, must be tracking us all. Hi guys, and
Google.
You would think that they saw that we were onto that. You would think they'd get in and change the algorithm. They must be going,
right.
Do we change it or don't we? If we change it, they'll know that we're onto the fact that they're onto the fact that we're onto them.
That's right.
That's the beauty of it. They're sloppy. They are sloppy. They're sloppy. I mean, because you can see what they're doing. I mean, I see what they're doing on my channel. It's so obvious, and everybody's channel. You know, I mean,
and mine. Don't worry,
everybody's channel. I mean, it's just unbelievable. You know, they're getting sloppy, but you know they're still fighting along here. Hey, look, they let this come out. You know, I don't know why they did it, but they let it come out, and it's here. People are waking up.
Well, while we're talking about odd numbers, I'm going to shill for myself. Like on my little music channel, I suddenly shot up to 120 subscribers, and I thought, oh, that's great. And I went back half an hour later, and it had been shaved off down to 119. And I thought, bastard, they've done a reverse on 911 on me.
Yeah.
So anyone who's listening, type in the YouTube search bar Virtec, and you'll see my little Celtic Viking shield there. And get in there and subscribe and get me off 119 because it's spooking me out, man.
Do that.
I'll get you.
119
That's
is
spooky.
the Japanese emergency number, the reverse of the American.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, reverse, yeah.
Really?
You know, Chin's right. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, he's right about that. Yeah, you're right.
Do you know what I find, like, we've been talking about different things here. We've been talking about masks and 9/11, but this whole thing they've got us in is all to stop us talking. The whole thing is so that we don't communicate with each other as well.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right.
I find that really
Absolutely.
sad,
You're right.
especially for children. You know, like this to me. Oh, look, there's someone coming! Quick, run and hide!
Yes, when we were at that shooting range, there were a couple of children there that had gone with their dads or whatever, and they had their mask on, and I could just only see their eyes, of course, but you could see the look in their eyes. You could see.
Yeah, that's what it's done, hasn't it? It's taking your
expression.
It's taking your expression away. We don't know if they're smiling or upset. You can't tell now what people think.
Yes, but in their eyes, I felt like I saw fear and distrust. It was only 2 kids that I saw, but they both just looked just real like bewildered, just not didn't have a happy look in their eyes, and they were kind of looking at me because I didn't put my mask all the way on. I don't know if the kid was thinking I was a germy person or whatever, but and then when we got finished with the shooting, where you go back and shoot, and we took our masks off in there, but the clerk in the shop said, well, you wouldn't have had to wear your mask back there. And I thought, well, you could have told us that before, but I did start telling him about this as he the mask isn't really gonna prevent you from catching any kind of virus. I said it doesn't. It's not effective, and actually, it can make you very sick. I said so, and he said, "Well, I don't think it's going to go away anytime soon." I said, "I don't either." I said, "But this is an agenda. I said, an agenda to control us, and that's all I said." But I had to just put it out there. I have a hard time along with the whole thing. I had truth out, and
Yeah,
I
well,
think everybody on this panel feels the same, don't we? We all feel the same about it. So yeah,
yes,
those damn things.
Yeah, I don't want people coming up at me. I mean, I don't want to deal with it. I'm just, when I walk into a store, look, I'll bow down. I'll put my face mask on. But the minute and before I even walk out of that store, it comes off immediately before I hit that exit.
Right.
And that's it. That's the only time I'm going to wear it. Apart from work, that's different. But I mean, it's just
ridiculous.
I don't want to deal with these people anymore. I really don't. I don't want to be confronted anymore with somebody coming up to me in a store saying, you really should be wearing your face mask. And I was like, you really should have been wearing it a month and a half ago. Why weren't you wearing it then?
Right.
Yeah. When it first started, my little store downstairs is run by some Turkish people who I get on quite well with, and they were going, "Oh, on Sunday, I think we are going to have to close down." I said, "What are you talking about? It's all a hoax.
Yeah.
Don't be ridiculous. Keep going. You'll do really well." And they said, they said, "You really think so?" And I said, "Yeah, you better stay open. I bloody need you to stay
That's
open."
the strangest thing about this.
So, but anyway, just to finish the story, they stayed open. They stayed open, and they've done so well, and they've made more money than they've ever done because they bloody dared to do it. Huh?
See, you're a good man. I mean, that's smart because you tell them stay open, don't close, and you are going to get more business than you can possibly imagine. Because people are not scared to get food.
People need backup. We have to get out there and show people, look, it's all right. It's okay, And
well, I never tailed to it.
And people go, well, that's actually what I think. I think it is probably okay. And look, that guy thinks it's all right. We just got to stand up and be counted.
I kept coming up to London. I took no notice of it. What it is we surrendered overnight without one soldier or one police officer. I find that very strange that we completely shut down across the world.
Me too.
Well, you sure didn't surrender, Karen. I think you've been.
I didn't surrender. Hey, Virtec, while you're there, sorry, everybody. You do know that there's a meet in Hyde Park on Saturday?
Well, I was talking with No One's Flower, and she was talking about the 5th.
Yeah, it's not. It's the 4th. It's Saturday the 4th in Hyde Park. She's doing something.
I need to get my little
on Sunday. She's doing something with Martin Leakey on Sunday, but it's Saturday is the park.
Yeah, well, I was sort of told about meeting up with Mark. I am like a mod over there. I take my responsibilities seriously. Huh?
That's good. Anyway, I just thought I'd let you know, just in case you didn't know.
Yeah, well, there seems to be a bit of I have to research what's going on between the 4th and the 5th.
It's definitely
like I'm in with the in crowd. Yeah.
The 4th is
even Amy knows it's the 4th.
Yeah, the 4th is like a peaceful, protest. We don't want a lockdown type thing, and you can bring a picnic and stuff. It starts at 12 o'clock. So I know that. I just threw Karen. But I don't know about the Sunday thing, but that's the Saturday what they're doing.
That's something different. That's something that's been happening with Martin Leakey, that one.
Yeah, it's, the esoteric warriors on Sunday.
Yeah, mud flooding. Well, we're looking at mud floods, by the way. Carry on, CC.
Oh no, I was going to say. I watched a couple of your other videos. I meant to comment on them. I didn't have time. I'm going to go more into it. I can't talk about it right now, but you're right. I saw that with Ellen DeGenerate, with her eyes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm surprised. Yeah, I'm surprised you caught that. That's weird. That's really weird.
I saw other people doing it, but I break it down in the unscrambled way. But not just that, she's Alice from the Brady Show.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know what they're doing. I have no idea what they're doing with this CGI stuff that we have now. And, I mean, it's incredible. What was I going to say before? I mean, I don't know. It's really weird because now you're looking at the president, you're looking at him speaking, and you don't know really who you're looking at, but yet there are hundreds of people that are in the audience that are looking at him, that are seeing it. But I mean, of course, you can't get front row seats.
It's all a virtual reality thing. It's all virtual reality. It's all staged. They need one photograph. That's it, and then everybody else is made up. Because the only things that are there are the press, and we're not allowed to go to these things. So it's all orchestrated that way.
Exactly. It's all orchestrated that way, and very, very quickly with children, because I have one myself, of course. This is damaging to the children now, because they can't see what their face expressions are of their friends. They have to keep a social distance of 6 feet away. They can't emotionally at all, as they usually did, with their friends. My daughter's going to go see her friend tonight. And we're, no face masks, no nothing. It's going to be a regular day for her. But when they go back to school, what are they going to do? I mean, how are they going to organize this? How are they going to even possibly police it?
Well, Cece, I went to see my granddaughter a few weeks ago, and she's only 5, and she wouldn't come near me. She said, "No, you might have the virus." I just couldn't believe it. My son, that is because she's going back to school. But I would have said,
they're going to get the people to police it themselves.
You've got to do the distancing at school, but it's not real, and we don't have to do it. That's what I'd be saying. No, my granddaughter wouldn't come near me because I might have the virus. I mean, she's 5.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
And that was well said, that they have to get the people to complete it, and that's what they're doing. All they got to do is just put it out there and complete the mission. And the mission has been completed as far as I'm concerned. They have run off with this beyond belief, to a point where they're arguing about, somebody wearing a face mask in a freaking supermarket, or wearing a face mask in a deli, just getting a sandwich and a cup of coffee. I mean, really, they have completed it. And it's great. It's perfect.
See, they've completed the long march through the institutions.
Yeah, it's great.
They run everything.
The World Health Organization says do not wear the masks, only medical people.
There you go.
Right.
So how can the government be promoting something where the World Health Organization says don't wear them?
Oh, our mayor and governor, I mean, it's just unbelievable. Not so much for the governor, but the mayor. And
on Unscrambled, I found this video where they were making the masks in India, and they had them all over the floor. And I'm thinking, well, why would you want to wear that?
Yes.
You saw that, didn't you? That was beautiful. I saw that video. I forgot.
Only for 5 seconds.
They're all on the floor. They're putting them in plastics. The shoes are right there. Oh, man. It's worse and worse. Unbelievable.
I mean, at that rate, it'd be worse putting the mask on after it's been through all that.
Well, I remember my granny saying, send him out in the dirt. He's got to get an immune system. People didn't know back then.
That's right.
They knew way back when. History has been perverted, man.
Yeah,
it's been taken away from us, and now with taking statues down and everything like that. I mean, they're just trying to wipe it out. It's perfect. I mean, that's
really weird about those statues. They've been all right for all this time. No one said a word about anything, and now they're taking them down. It's like, what?
In 50 years they've been there. Nobody's bothered them. The only vandalism that has happened to them are pigeons passing by. Now all of a sudden we've got to knock it down. I mean, really, this is what happens when you have an organized mafia almost that have been paid and to constrict fear in people, and that's look, when they start going to residential areas, good luck.
That's
well, you know what? Once you start once you start researching how much of history is actually real or not, and once you start seeing some images of what have happened in the past, you realize that maybe we're in a system that is occasionally reset. And the way things are going,
that's how supposedly the Tartarians died, but they're using the electromagnetic.
Unless more people wake up quick. But the thing is, we're just here on one journey through this. We've we agreed from the other place to come here and see if we could learn, the bits of the cosmic quiz we got wrong last time. So we're, like, if we stay woken up and love and respect and admire our Creator and behave in the good way that we know that the right people behave, this is just one journey through this apparition of a life that we're in at the moment. The most important thing is to stay true to your heart.
Yes.
What they're trying to do is own your heart. They're trying to, take the mark of the beast. It'll be so great. We'll give you this. We'll give you that. No.
No, and they've given it. They've given it out like candy to people. And they've stayed home, they've taken their money, they've quit their jobs, or they've gotten fired. We're dealing with almost over 25% of the population right now out of work. The numbers are climbing back because there are people coming to work. There's more traffic on the highway now here in New York.
Yeah, same here.
But that's absolutely correct. I mean, they're trying to do that. But this is a whole other. I can get into an hour with it. The patient just called. I got to pick him up and take him home. So I got to get home too. So I got to take off, guys. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
You can stay.
Really made it.
Thank you for hanging out, CC. It's been a pleasure to meet you.
Excellent. Nice meeting you too. I'll get on your channel a sub. I'll get you out of that 119.
Yes.
Get in there, everyone. Get in there.
Cece, much love, Cece. Much love to you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Send me another email. I hope I can pop up, again.
Yeah, we'll do this anyway. Thank you, Cece.
Amy,
love you, Cece.
Absolutely, my brother.
Much
all right, I'll talk to you.
Yeah.
He's gone now.
Yeah, he's done a lot of time.
It's cool. It's a pleasure to meet him. He's a cool guy, man.
Yeah, he sits in his taxi and he just talks in his taxi. Or he's driving around telling us how ridiculous everything is.
Yeah.
We have been going for nearly an hour and a quarter, right? We can go for a little bit longer, but I just wondered, I don't know, maybe each one of you says something. We've had a nice hangout here. What's your thoughts on today? We'll start with Jin. Jin.
Yeah. What?
What do you think of today?
What do you want to know?
What thoughts of today's hangout?
Oh, it was brilliant. I thought, we're on point with most of the issues that are going on, and we've shared some information. I'd like to ask Virtec. I can't spell your name, Virtec, because I'm trying to find you. How do we spell that? VIRTEC. Yeah, that's what I typed in. I haven't been able to find you.
I'm probably well shadow banned then.
Oh.
This is in YouTube search bar, yeah?
Okay, you said Google, so I went to Google first.
No, go YouTube search.
Right.
Apparently, YouTube search is the second biggest search engine. It beats all the, DuckDuckGo and all those. YouTube search is the second biggest after Google.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Wow, but that makes sense, because you want to look for people's channels or look for a subject.
Yeah, it's interesting. The people that got banned recently, it seems to me that they banned, Stefan Molyneux. He's like real middle of the road.
Yes.
There are various channels they banned that have been middle of the road, and they've left up the extreme channels.
Right.
And it makes me think, they want to leave the extreme channels to fight.
Well, you've got 100 subscribers now.
Oh,
wow.
Yes.
You're not on 119 now, but Virtec, what's your thoughts on today's hangout?
Let me have a look. Hang on, I'm just... 120. Yeah.
Yay.
Now, what's the odds on the fact they'll knock that off again? Someone's going to be laughing,
Oh.
going, "Oh, you think you can get out of that? Get it."
Virtec, what's your thoughts of today then?
Well, it's really nice. Like, I haven't spoken to Jin since we were in Discord together, so that's really
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really great.
that's a pleasure. Even
It
though
really is. Yeah.
Jin's
The
been
man
trying to
from
get me
Cricklewood.
back into Discord, but I always thought originally Discord, that's what sort of name is that? And my experience in there actually showed me what. So
Well, yeah, I mean, I reckon that they lost an asset there.
That's
Definitely.
right.
Well, thank you, Jin.
Well, I don't know what happened, but it was their loss.
That's
I
right.
felt,
Yeah, well, I worked
Yeah.
really hard in there. I was like admin of Global Lounge, and
Yeah, it was really good.
when I was actually in charge, it was going really well.
I really enjoyed it, man.
But then
When you
I got
left, I kept
attacked
trying to
by,
get back.
there within the whole Discord world, there are agents everywhere, and I ended up
Yeah.
getting really attacked, and like. It's amazing, I never did anything except try and be a really good spirit in there, but I ended up being really attacked and eventually thought, I'm out.
I've been attacked 4 times. I've had to get 4 new accounts. They keep knocking. Someone keeps shutting down my accounts for some reason.
Wow.
Really?
I complained to them. But I'm gold now. Oh, yeah, I'm gold. I'm actually a gold now.
Really?
Yeah, and I said to them that I wasn't interested in any trinkets. I said, I am my own motivation, so I don't need anything. I'm here for the rest of my life with this flat earth thing, so I'm not really interested. I'm gold.
Great.
My whole experience,
Well done there then.
my whole
December last
experience
year.
in there was very weird. I arrived there and suddenly I found myself like admin with Karen B and Amanda GB.
There you go.
And it was very strange how I got there. And at the time I thought, I was meant to be here.
Yeah.
And actually, while I was really positive and putting good energy into it, it all went really, really well. But then, when the evil forces attacked me,
Right.
I don't want to go into the details, but the politics gets really deep. It's where this is World War III. And it's an info war, Alex Jones was right about that,
Yeah, he
Well,
was.
you won't find that like that on my channel. I know it's not the same thing, but you won't find us arguing on our channel.
Well, why do you think I'm here,
That's
Karen?
right.
Well, that's really good, Virtec. Really pleased. Amy,
Yeah.
It's really nice to hear his voice as well. Yeah.
Amy, what's your thoughts?
Wonderful hangout. It was really nice, talking to Cece and Jen again, and so lovely to meet Virtec. And it's just been a great hanging out with you all, and so refreshing to talk to people that are talking to people with sanity and common sense, and I don't have that around me. So it's just lovely to talk to people that really their eyes are open and they know what's going on and share the truth. So it's just been really lovely that we have shared the truth and that we see things for what they are and willing to share the truth with each other and everyone else as much as we can. So
really nice to meet you too, Amy.
Nice to meet you. Yes, Virtec. Thank you. Yes.
Shall we finish this hangout? But obviously we'll talk after I've pressed the button. Shall we finish this hangout now? We've been going for an hour and 20 minutes.
Okay, yeah. I shall leave some information in the comments for anyone who's interested in that COVID-19 and the experiments that they did back in 1918 regarding the Spanish flu. It's really interesting. It's Like,
Can I
it's a
just say I've got a video waiting to go out, Jim. It's got this doctor. I can't remember his name now because I can't remember his name, but he was talking about they're just using the electromagnetics, and
Yes.
it's just
Trouble about.
That's what it is.
Trouble
that's
about.
what's happening.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
So,
It's
so
literally
what, Karen? What is this going out on this stream?
Oh yeah, you did message me. Well, it will go out on Google Hangouts. But if you want to put this hangout on your channel, go for it.
No, I'm a music channel.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah, it's
musician.
going out. It's going out on Hangouts, and what I'll do is it'll be tomorrow night, and I'll send you the link so that you can pop in if you want, like before when we did a hangout when I did one with you, one on my own.
All right. Well, we'll chat on Skype. You can fill me in.
I will. I'll send you the link when it's uploaded. But do you think we're finished now? And we'll just talk after I've pressed the button off.
Yeah, I've got a question
Okay.
for Virtec, but that can wait till after you press the button.
Okay then. So thank you, Cece. Thank you, Virtec. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Jin.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
And
You're
thank
welcome.
you, chat room. Mwah!
Love you.
Yes, how rude of me.
thank
I forgot my
you.
manners. Chat room, guys, thanks for being there. I'm really slack. Next time I should be putting some questions your way. But thanks for turning up, guys and dolls in the chat room. Yeah.
Aw.
On
We
that
need
note,
you.
I'm
Bye.
going to press the button to stop.
Oh.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And thank you so much to all the people on the Hangout.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, especially in the chat room, guys. Sorry, I forgot about you. Damn.
Never mind. Hopefully you'll be there, Jin, anyway, in the chat room. But anyway, thank you very much, everybody. And we'll speak soon, us lot.
Yeah.
All right, then. That's goodbye from us.
No, yes.
See you later, guys and dolls. Nice.
I know.